everyone, welcome back to Prairie Grown Reviews. We review books, games, movies, and TV shows. And today, we are back for episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, The Power Broker. So, boys, let's get into some non spoiler thoughts. We'll go with Nat first, so Austin doesn't steal your thunder.
Good plan.
Sweet. Anyways, solid episode. We see a lot of old friends. That was like the whole highlight of the whole episode. Really solid action. I enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys. It was pretty fun. I think the best part of the episode was all seeing all the old characters that came back, and that's like probably the highlight for I think most people, anyways.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a good setup for the future, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I thought the action was really good. I thought some of those scenes were great. It's slow. It's a slow episode. I won't give it credit for that. It is a slow episode this week, but it does set up, like Nathaniel said, quite a bit moving forward. So I didn't mind that. We get a little bit of a jump closer to the end, which I thought fixed it a little bit, but it does start quite slow.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I thought, like both of you said, the action was pretty cool. Yeah, it definitely started slower, but I still think it was overall probably. I still think I liked it more than the first episode in terms of each getting kind of better, even though I think I may have enjoyed two more. But overall, for this episode, I think the characters reveals were pretty cool, and I like seeing some returning characters and how they've interacted with Bucky and Sam. There was some cool action scenes, some interesting developments for the plot, some new locations, and it definitely makes me excited to see what happens in the next 3 episodes after this. So, is that everything for non-spoiler thoughts?
I think so.
Well, let's just get into it.
Sounds good. So we are going to move into our spoiler section. So if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it. Come back here to see our spoiler thoughts. So we're going to the spoiler section now. So boys, into the spoiler section.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
This is like completely unrelated, but I saw the word Latvia come up, and I just thought of Brooklyn Nine-Nine instantly. I don't know if anyone saw it. I don't know. I just thought like Nikolaj and like Boyle. Anyways, side tangent. We can go back on topic now, but
okay, sounds good. Anything you want to shout out right from the beginning? The biggest thing that caught your attention.
Sharon Carter's back. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite part of this entire episode, was just the involvement we get of her. I really thought that was great. A couple action scenes in between. The rocket launcher was fantastic. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. She actually really kicked ass.
Totally.
She was really good at fighting all those bounty hunter dudes, and
Yep.
I did like she's got more of an edge to her now that she's spent,
Oh, way more. It
I'm
does
not-
wonders
I'm
for
not
her
surprised.
character arc. Yeah. Totally.
What do you guys think of like that ending part then when she was leaving? Like,
That's
do you
what I was
think
gonna.
what,
That's
like
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know.
do you think she's gonna be a good hero,
I don't
good
think
character
she's going to be a
still, or-
villain. There's
No.
still too much good in her.
Yeah, but that is still very suspicious as to how that lines up with her whole on the run, struggling in,
Yeah. That's true.
right? That part at least.
Well,
I don't
know
think
if
I
she's
don't think it's
struggling.
because she's bad. I
she's-
just think it's potentially not what she's letting on.
That's true.
That's fair.
Like you said,
Right.
yeah. Like you said, Nat, though, I don't necessarily think she's struggling because, she's got all those famous paintings and she hosted a pretty sick party in Madripoor, which, that just segueing, that city was pretty cool. I know it's a fictional city, and just the way they utilize the, like, upper class versus the lower class and, like, the criminal underbelly in this fake city was pretty interesting, and I thought there was some cool scenes there for sure.
Absolutely. I think the visuals coming into the city for the first time was also really cool. And fresh off Godzilla v Kong, I was like, that looks like Hong Kong. That looks quite a bit like Hong Kong, like the same kind of skyline we saw. So I thought that was
That's
a
true.
really, really nice touch to that. And yeah, I'd have to agree with the whole upper class, lower class sort of that contention works pretty well. And it sort of follows the path of like low key covering social issues the entire way of the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a different social issue almost every week.
Just about.
Sometimes,
Like,
yeah.
Well, I thought the whole episode, like, it felt more like a cop show now than an actual like superhero show. Like, there was like literally no like superhero power like related stuff until like kind of the end.
Yep.
And when we see like the new Cap being, I don't know. He's kind of weird right now, but I mean,
Being
to
a
be
little
expected.
sketchy.
He's getting more sus every week, it seems.
I mean, he's like,
I thought
the
he was gonna
whole.
kill that dude when he spit on his face.
So did I
I
actually.
wouldn't be surprised.
I
That's fair.
so thought he
I
looked,
thought we
and
were
I
going
think
that
he almost
direction.
did. He definitely pulled back. He was going to seriously wreck that dude. And I mean,
See-
no one likes getting spit in the face, but Steve wouldn't have even pushed him up against it. He would have just looked away.
Probably.
Well, I don't know if Steve would have been put in that situation in the first place.
Nope.
No, most people like
So-
Steve a lot more.
Yeah, I don't think we'd ever have to find out how he'd handle that, to be quite honest with you.
That's true.
See, week number 2, going strong. I've torn about how I feel about this guy. I don't like him as Cap, but I also don't think he's necessarily a terrible human being or necessarily a bad hero for America.
I don't know either. Yeah.
And 3, the more I watch him though, the more convinced I am he's either gonna go corporate or evil, or both, to be totally honest.
I mean,
I think he'll either end up full villain or anti-hero. He'll never be a straight up hero. He's got too much anger inside him
Well,
that's already kind of being
he
shown.
wasn't.
Hulk, cough,
He-
cough,
does he-
got a lot of anger.
Yeah,
Can't
but I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
Straight up on anger.
I'd still rather have Hulk on my team than John Walker. Not just for the strength, but as a hero, I'd prefer Hulk, man. Especially modern day Hulk, who's mix of Banner and Hulk. 'Cause you get the
Yeah,
soul and you
totally.
get the strength.
Yep, totally. Absolutely.
What were you saying, Matt? Sorry, we
I was
kind
gonna
of
say, oh
derailed
man, I
you.
lost my train of
Cut
thought. at
you
that
off
point.
directly.
Yeah, I mean, like if John Walker wasn't Captain America, I think I like him more. Like he's
Totally.
like, I mean, I think his words
Totally.
for like, it's like, I mean, he got thrown into like the situation and like with like on the mantle for like the government and stuff. But like, if he was a hero but not Captain America, I think people were like receive him a lot better.
Totally.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. He's
So
not replacing Cap.
Yep, that's
exactly.
where
And
he
I
gets
mean,
a lot of his hate, for sure.
I talked about this last week, but we're seeing a little bit of pushback towards this new Cap, with especially out of the States.
Yep.
Which like I was
Well-
interested to see if there was gonna, because like Steve didn't really like, he was really liked worldwide for the most part up until the Sokovia Accords.
Are we forgetting Captain America? He was a joke in the first movie for a lot
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Well,
His beginning wasn't so smooth sailing. Once he got some job experience and showed what he could do, then he
Yes.
was beloved by all.
But he was
He got-
basically doing what like they talked about that a little bit last week, but he was basically doing the job John Walker was doing at the beginning, where he was just like talking to suits, and basically he was propaganda.
Right, then on the stage, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He's the
no,
monkey.
so he was propaganda, and then he became a hero, but he didn't really. He was a hero for the States, but I mean, the rest of the world respected him a lot more than they seem
I
to
mean,
currently respect John
It
Walker.
was during what was it, World War
too.
II?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
'cause it
most
was
of the
the
world was
Nazis.
united in like World War II. You're not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
that's very
so like
true.
it kind of helped him in that case, right?
Yeah,
But I
he
mean,
got a
even when he
super kickstart.
became unfrozen up until the Accords, he was pretty well liked.
Well,
And
he had a whole
Post
like
Accords,
museum like monument.
I
like,
know.
a
He
section
froze.
dedicated
part
He
of that
to him.
froze
was
in ice, and then
the
his
Avengers.
reputation grew without him being there. So then he just basically had a ready to pluck persona to absorb.
Yeah, but the
when he came
museum
out.
thing didn't come out
Nope.
until after the Avengers, because there was
Yep.
stuff about that after the.
Yep.
And then in the updated one, there's stuff about his involvement in Endgame.
Yep.
And how they saved everyone.
Totally.
But moving back onto this week's episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Zemo, let's get into Zemo. I
Sure.
really liked his inclusion here. I like the way that he interacts off of Sam and Bucky. I think he's got this. He's not a nice guy. He's a villain. He's evil, but he gets his funny moments. He wasn't ever funny in Civil War. He was the straight, serious villain. And I
Yep.
mean, you see him dance here.
Yep.
Like he dances a bit, so like
Oh, that's
he gets
also
a little
fair.
bit more personality.
Yep.
He's rich. Didn't really.
Totally.
Oh yeah, I didn't
like-
see that coming.
Dude just
Really?
exploded.
Really?
I mean, he
Yeah.
had a lot of resources, even
Yeah.
in the previous
Well,
one.
yeah,
so
so-
I'm not too
Let's
surprised.
think
but,
about what
like,
this guy was pulling out in Civil War.
Yeah.
There had to be something coming from
That's true.
somewhere, or
That's true.
just somebody with a massive grudge to fund him. One of the two.
Yeah. but no. So he's rich. He can fight. I kind of forgot, but yeah, he's technically military. So
Yeah.
so he
Mhm.
was he was like Sokovian Death Squad, I think is what they said in Civil War. So like,
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
so. See, he's
ultra hardcore.
yeah, he is, but he's a perfect example of kind of heads almost in the right place, but the execution is very wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Ed's in the right place.
He's not totally out in left field. He's not totally out in left field. We've said this before, and I'll say it again.
We'll say what?
Seb's having trouble processing this.
Sebastian, you can just see the smoke coming out of his ears as the gears try to turn.
I'm trying to figure. Are you trying to tell me that you think that even in the MCU it'd be better if there weren't superheroes?
I'm not saying he's necessarily wrong. I'm not saying he's right, but
No, I'd say he's 100% wrong. Because
This
those
guy ca-
aliens
this-
still
this
didn't show
this
up.
guy came from Sokovia, right?
Hmm I
He
understand where
watched
he's
his
coming
entire
from.
country get dropped. He has literally every single reason in the world
To hate them.
to be against that.
But I mean, sometimes and it's hard to do this as an individual person.
Yep.
But they saved the rest of the world from, because what Tony Scan said in Age of Ultron was that if that crater dropped, it'd kill everyone. Sometimes a few, and they only, on the board in Civil War, they only lost 200 people. But
So
Zemo
what
can't get
Seb's
over
trying to
the
say here,
5
he's okay
people.
with losing a few people. You know, it's like
Thought
a
we don't-
strategy in
thought we-
chess.
thought
he'll
we don't trade
sacrifice a
lives,
few
Sebastian.
pawns.
We
No, we
don't
don't.
trade lives, but I'm just saying
But you just
sometimes
did.
the life of everyone is very important. I mean,
But
Cap
you try to
said
explain
no
it.
one
You try to explain that to somebody with a lot of
to
money.
a grieving person.
And
I
yeah,
mean,
that too.
I mean,
And the
even look
resources
at
to do
Civil
something
War with
about
the
it.
mom,
Exactly.
who blames Tony. And I mean, it's not right to blame Tony. He saved millions, billions of people, but her son died. And I mean, that's why I sympathize with the Avengers, because yeah,
Yes, you
I
gotta
sympathize
with
with
those people too.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're wrong to feel this anger, but I mean, it's hard to separate yourself from it. You see
Totally.
your loss, and you see your loss only. You don't see the fact that there were others saved.
Yep.
And
Exactly. And that's where Zemo's coming from. That's
yeah, but
what
he's
it boils
still
down to.
he's
And
still
he's
a villain,
and he's got the
and
resources
he's a killer.
to attack upon these thoughts with some very malicious intent. Yeah, like you said,
That's
Death
true.
Squad, right? So you mix the grief with a lot of money and the ability to kill people, and you get
Yeah,
a very dangerous fugitive.
I mean,
Who
all
That's
things
true.
considered,
I'd
the
I'd
whole
bet
like,
my salary he escapes. I'd
Oh yeah, no, he
there's no
doesn't
way.
stay with them the whole
yeah,
time.
exactly.
No way. I
guy's
thought he
gonna
was going to
wander off.
escape after they blew up the crate thing, but
Oh, I didn't think he was coming back. Not at all.
Neither
Oh
did
yeah,
I,
I
but
didn't.
then he
Yeah, I
did.
thought it was gone.
He kind
Soon
of
as-
saved their butts too, because they were in a tough spot.
He did, which was
I was
Intriguing.
surprised. I was
Yeah.
really surprised. I think he needs a purpose, and right now he kind of doesn't have one, because
maybe he needs the
flipped.
backup. Maybe that's how
Yeah.
he sees it. He needs them as much as they need him, I guess.
He wants to rid those super soldiers away.
Yep.
And currently the Avengers are kind of on hiatus, so he doesn't really have anything to do, and he doesn't have something to put all that anger and
Towards
brain power towards. And so this gives him something. So leaving them means he has to go wander around trying to find something to be angry at again.
Yep.
And so I think, yeah, he'll probably stick with them for a bit, but then when he finds his own way to benefit from it, he'll dip.
totally.
I mean, it's just the way his character's written. It's just
Yeah,
the way it
yeah,
works.
no. He's a really well written character. He's got layers to him. He definitely
So many.
really likes to try and poke that Winter Soldier bear. He really
Totally.
wants to.
Totally.
I mean, I wouldn't actually lose it if Bucky killed him. I don't care if he dies. He's a bad guy. But I don't think Bucky will kill him. I think he'll survive. I think he'll, by the end of the show, or maybe not the end of the show.
Yep.
Actually, no. I'd say by the end of the show he escapes, but I think we see him again, and I think eventually he ends up back in some sort of prison.
I could see that. Part of me thinks this might not be the end of us seeing him as a villain either.
No,
know if-
he'll be a villain again.
I don't know if we'll necessarily see him in a prison cell before we see him do something bad again. To be quite honest with you.
Oh yeah, he'll have to do something pretty. Well, not pretty bad. He's still killed a lot of people.
See, but I don't think anybody catches him unless you unleash the big dogs on him. You get some of the
like,
Avengers tracking
are
him
the only
down,
one who's
right?
um.
It's got to poke that
maybe
bear.
the Wakandans as well, as they're currently after him based on that
Perfect
last scene.
segue, Sebastian. Perfect segue.
Yes, I know.
Oh no, they're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
There's
we
no
get one of
prisoners.
those- No, there's one of those Dora Milaje.
Yep.
And she was using those beads that they have that they wear. I can't remember what they're called, but the ones that they wear in Black Panther. And
Yep.
Bucky knew what they were because he'd spent over 2 years there, and so he knew who was there. And yeah, she was looking for Zemo because I mean, they don't forget. They didn't forget about Claw in the Black Panther movie. They're not going to forget about Zemo killing their former king.
See, I think that's the only way Zemo dies. I don't
By
think
the hand of a
Yeah.
Wakandan.
I don't think Bucky
or Sam kills
or
him.
Sam does it, because I don't think Sam would let Bucky do it.
No,
To be totally honest with
no.
you.
no, he wouldn't.
So I think he's
Yeah.
either going to die on the end of a spear or not at all, which would be sort of fun to see. But
Yeah.
What see him die by the end of a spear, or
yeah, that'd be a full circle.
Yeah. I mean, he did kill their king. I can
Exactly.
see why they want vengeance.
Totally.
But also, I can see, like, this was the only case where there could have been, with Zemo in the show, there could have been maybe a T'Challa cameo. But definitely, if they're going with the Dora Milaje, I don't think we're going to see T'Challa. I think it was probably, I mean, there's still a chance. We don't know. But
Yep.
I'm just saying, more likely, we're just going to stick with her. I don't know how long she'll be in it. Maybe she just has a good run at Zemo and then leaves when Sam and Bucky are like, we need him to stop a bigger threat. And then but who knows? I will see next week. Moving on, we get to see a little bit more of Carly Morgenthau and
Yep.
just the Flag Smashers in general. They keep trying to get you to sympathize with them a bit. I mean,
And then they blow up a building.
they
think-
don't blow up
okay,
a
well-
building. They blow up
a
the car
that
right
then,
beside a building.
Yeah.
I mean,
The intent was
you
there.
can, you can like, I think the sympathy is like their cause is just, like, you know what, they're trying to like do something better, right? Like
Totally.
it's a total
They're trying
valid,
to get meds to people and all that. Yes,
exactly, no, it's total valid reason for what they do,
but their
and the way
actions.
that they did it before, like before blowing up the car thing, like they were before that they were just like what, robbing banks and stuff like that. They didn't actually like kill people. They weren't trying to kill people.
Yeah, and
But,
she
like,
had
at
just
this point,
tied
this one
people up
was-
instead of killing them,
Oh yeah, but then
and
they
then
she blew up
killed
a car.
others.
So
Yeah, exactly. So
she-
like
she
it
did
was
kill
like
them.
yeah, no,
right?
she like yeah, she escalated things. I mean, yeah, their cause is definitely not the worst thing in the world. There's definitely good intentions behind it, but there's their actions are going more downward trend towards negative murder and
I
killing.
mean, though, by that same prospect, I don't know how else you would do this type of stuff, right? Like, in order to
No,
like exact
that's very
change on
true.
this level,
Yeah.
like the government did not care, but that's why all that all that supplies was stored there for like who knows how long, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
like, there's drastic measures for drastic situations, and this is one of those drastic situations that needs a bit more force. I mean, not to the point where you kill them, but like that was a bit too far. But like,
Yep.
just tying them and leaving, that was all she had to do, right? But I
Pretty
mean,
much.
I guess she wants to send a message, and the way she said, like, this is the way that they respond to this, it's really true, right? Like, you don't respond to anything until you see violence, usually.
That is
That's
true.
That's totally
That's
fair.
very true.
I do
Um,
feel like we're gonna keep going further down the rabbit hole. Actually,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think we're
definitely.
just gonna keep pushing. I think that side of the things is just gonna keep pushing until either somebody else on their side dies, or yeah, like that's the
Okay,
only way
actually, speaking
I
of
see
that,
any
do
sort
you
of
guys,
pullback.
you guys remember who that woman on the bed was that Carly was with? Like, was she one of the original people who was with them,
no.
or is that just some
I
new
think
new
that's like
person
her
that
mom or
injected?
someone related to her.
She mentioned somebody when they're talking before they go into the building.
That's the same woman.
Yeah,
That's the woman
yeah,
who
yeah.
died on the bed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think she's related to her, and she died of I can't say it.
Tuberculosis.
Yes. I couldn't spit it out. Yes, she died of that.
Yeah.
And she because Zemo actually said that a lot of people in those camps are currently dying of that. The people who got displaced because of the blip and
Yeah.
are not living in like very good conditions. So I think that just made her angrier that she couldn't save her, and so that definitely set her off.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a little bit of a parallel between her and John Walker, but John Walker's trying to stop her, and he's going to go further down the rabbit hole to stop her. She's going to go further down the rabbit hole to prove her point. I think we could see a similar downward spiral for both of them
Totally.
as they both try to accomplish their goals.
Yep.
And
then
one within the law, one with
I mean,
one
I don't
that's
know if John
outside of
Walker's
the law.
within the law at this
John
point.
Well,
Walker made a
He's-
couple comments that he's not so necessarily
Yeah.
keen on staying within those lines.
Well, because he wants to find Sam and Bucky now because he thinks,
I
they've
mean-
got better leads than the government.
I mean,
Well,
they
they
do have
do.
better
They
leads
do.
than the
They
government.
do.
He's right on that.
They
He's not
literally-
wrong, but
they jailbroke a guy out who had a lead
that
for them,
jailbreak
you know?
scene was pretty cool. I like the way that Bucky was explaining it as it was happening and how he convinced the two guys to fight. And
Yep.
we even get to see. We never saw Zemo really fight much in Civil War. He killed that one Hydra dude, but otherwise he
just
was
kind
pretty
of avoided
set
it.
back.
Yeah.
But he beat up a few guys to get out of jail, and it was pretty. It's pretty cool to see, and just the way he popped up, and Sam was pretty angry, and
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me
Yeah.
at all.
I know that doesn't surprise me either.
Quick sidebar over here. Mando, this is how you do a prison break. Just so everybody at home's
yeah.
aware.
Oh yes,
Good
I almost
God.
forgot about that.
I'm
Yes,
still not
it's
happy
just
about that.
The prison exit.
Yeah.
This one was really
So-
good.
Yeah,
Like,
this was
the
cool.
detail, they described it. You got to see it. It was
Yeah.
cool. That one was awful.
They just were
if
like,
you want to see our
hey,
thoughts on that
release
episode,
Mando.
it's up on our YouTube, you know.
It is technically. Yep.
Um,
It
you can
is
go
up
find
still
it
there.
YouTube.
somewhere.
Yeah. It's yeah, you know what? Go show our old videos some love.
Exactly.
They were
And
kind of
or wait until the book
know.
Boba Fett's about to be released and watch all our videos.
or do both.
Or do
You know,
both.
there's no stopping you now.
Rewatch them.
All that stuff
that's
is a
also true.
possibility.
There was a WandaVision reference. No, I'm just joking. But they
okay.
had a commercial. They had a commercial.
I was like, miss.
They had a commercial for the Global Repatriation Council, and that just made me think of the
Yep.
commercials WandaVision had because it's
Yep.
kind of opens on one.
See, I don't know if I'd call it a commercial though.
It was like an ad that
It was
you
like
could
an-
see on TV for.
It was an
It
ad.
was more like something you'd see in a boardroom on your first day at a job for said company.
Oh, that's also
It's
fair.
like it was
Oh,
like
yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
it was like an informational package.
But
just
it was
filled
more
with
like
propaganda.
An information, like it was it was more like an infomercial. Like I think you could still show that on TV, but yeah, you're right. It does have that boardroom type. This is your first day of work, intro video type feel. Yeah.
We're a great company.
Yeah.
But I love how they switched right from that to showing that the company's funding John Walker's exploits.
Totally.
Just you see the shield and he goes in and he breaks into some random dude's home. Well, not some random dude, the dude who helped the Flag Smashers last episode, but he just breaks into his home and he gets up in his face, and that's when the dude spits on him and he
Spat
almost
on.
kills him.
That was great. That was like the highlight of the episode, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody at home's just cheering for that one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the internet response to the new Captain America, I'm betting most people are cheering.
Totally. Not a doubt in my mind.
He does have a punchable face. You
Totally.
do want to punch
Oh,
him
yeah.
a lot.
Yep. I
Um,
would agree with that.
Let's see what else. There was some.
I
Any
got
other big things?
we covered Sharon.
Carter.
We covered
The doctor.
Zemo.
The doctor. The doctor.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
dude who's making
mean,
the super soldier serum.
Not much to
Was.
say about him.
Was
Yes.
He's
guy's
gone.
very dead.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
Zemo
blue
shot him.
if the bullet didn't kill him, that rocket launcher would have killed
Oh
him.
yeah. No,
That
that guy's a
sounds
like-
burnt crisp.
He got incinerated.
But currently we've only seen 8 super soldiers. That means there's 12.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
That is the math.
yes. Haha. there are 12. There's 12 vials of super soldier serum still there.
Or there's 12 super soldiers already out there.
That's true.
I mean, didn't one of them die
Either
earlier?
or.
So like, at
Oh,
the,
yeah,
like, the
yep,
plane
yeah,
that's
crash,
right.
So
Yeah,
there's
that's
19
right.
left.
So,
there's potentially
yeah.
19 super soldiers.
And I think we'll see either they're all out there or we'll see others be getting doses
Yep,
at
I would
some
agree.
point.
It's a scary thought because our 4 boys got absolutely slapped last time, and that was
There
not
was only 8 of
19.
them. Yeah.
Our 2 boys and the imposter boys. That's better.
They got slapped together.
Military, you
They
know,
got slapped
doesn't
together.
Yeah,
matter.
no, they still got slapped. They definitely.
It would have
got
been
slapped.
worse if it just been the 2 of them.
Oh
It would
yeah,
have been
no. If
even
it had
worse.
just been Bucky and Sam, they probably would have got killed. Yeah.
They were
They
getting
aren't the most cooperative when they're fighting together. We saw
They're
that
not
today too.
very
Like,
cooperative
oh,
in
you're supposed to go
general, no.
left. I went right. You follow me, like in the
It's
action
in every
movies.
action movie.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah, that was. And Sharon just kind of looked kind of disgusted. But I'm interested to see when and if we see her again. I assume we see her
Totally.
again this season.
Next episode.
There-
Next episode.
I don't know if we see her next episode. I'd say we see her episode 5. I don't know. But she definitely has a continued story. Yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger, and
Yep.
the actress was always set up to be one of the main characters for this, along with Zemo having a lot of screen time.
Yep.
So she definitely wasn't just in this episode. But I don't know how she weaves her way back in without and I think she'll get her pardon, but not till the last episode. Also,
Boils down to that white car, I think.
yeah, there's also been rumors we will see at some point we'll see Rhodey again. I don't know when or if. There's a chance though that we could see him in one more episode. I don't think we'll see him suit up. But
No.
I think we'll see him in his just in a suit or military
It'd be a
uniform again.
bad situation if he shows up. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, he's
Yeah.
currently the only one operating in one of those Iron Man type suits, so
Yeah, it'd be interesting to say the least.
I mean, he's getting his own show. So I think they'll have him in one more scene just to kind of set up his show.
I would, yeah.
Be like,
that's what I'd say.
Because the synopsis for that show is basically like, Tony Stark's tech is getting like stolen, and Rhodey's got to go clean it up because there's people who are going to try and like recreate the Iron Man suits and all that bad stuff. So I mean, Iron Man 2 tried to explore what happens when others try to create the Iron Man suits, and it's not very
If
good.
you want the original, just to get shrapnel in the heart and use the giant electromagnet.
Yeah,
nothing
the
happens,
only
life-threatening
the only way
situations
to
could be
get that.
kidnapped, held against your will, and then you can make the suit.
I mean, they're all dead, but maybe
Yep.
maybe you could just hire some people to kidnap you, put shrapnel in your heart, and that'll jumpstart your creative juices. Because
Exactly.
you got the choice to die or create an arc reactor.
Pressure
Most people would just
makes
die.
diamonds or burst pipes.
Most people would
Simple as
just end
that.
up dying.
Oh,
You
for
kind of
sure.
need the expert. I mean, like Obadiah Stane says, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps, but the top Stark Industries scientists couldn't recreate what he did. So yeah,
Precisely.
precisely, yeah,
Slice.
Cool. precisely. So yeah, I'd say that's about it. Any more big thoughts from you boys?
I got nothing else.
Not that I can think of now.
Not at all.
Any big predictions for next week?
Not really. I think we carry on with the whole Zemo side of things. I be very surprised if we don't see at least Sharon Carter in some aspect. I don't know if she ends up reconvening with Bucky
boys.
and Sam, but I could
Yeah.
see it in sort of like a one-off scene, sort of developing something later on type of thing.
Yeah.
But
That's true. I
You
think
think,
we see John Walker back. Like he meets up with
Okay.
he fights them.
I was gonna say that.
I could
Maybe
see
they'll
that.
have like a bit of conflict.
So your thunder. My other big one is I definitely think we'll eventually actually have a discuss. I don't know if it'll be next week, but we'll have a discussion between Carly and Sam or Bucky. Like we'll actually have a talk, not just a fight between them. I also think we might see next week. I also think we might, or maybe at some point, I definitely think Isaiah Bradley will show up again. Or
I don't know
not
about
definitely
that
think.
one.
I have a
don't know about that
suspicion.
one.
Because because we talked about in WandaVision, her kids are part of the Young Avengers. His
Yep.
grandson is
Yep.
also part of the Young Avengers. So I could see them showing up, and I think he's going to get his recognition that Sam thinks he deserves in some capacity. Maybe we don't see him, but I think he'll get maybe something in Steve's museum or something. I don't know.
I could see it. I don't know how it would work in right now. I don't see that happening next episode. To say
No,
the
no,
least.
not next
No.
episode. That's more like that's more like an episode 6 wrap up type
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. I don't think he'll work back into the story till maybe a resolution type part.
Yeah, I could
So
see
that's
it.
about it. The dynamic between the guys is still pretty good. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah.
But I like the banter, and I hope we keep seeing that. But I think that's all I really have for our
You
spoiler
took
section
everything
today.
I had, so I think
Precisely.
we're good today.
That's all I got.
Sounds good. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's content. I hope you had some laughs. I hope you come check us out again. And with that said, here you go, Nat.
Yeah, if you're into any of our videos, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have some TV reviews and some gaming videos over there. But if that's not your cup of tea,
We always have most of our content on a podcast form on Apple Podcasts. You can go check that out as well. And if written stuff is more your caliber, whether it's books or just written reviews, Nat's got a perfect option for you.
yeah, exactly. Come visit our website, www.prairiegroundreviews.com. We have all your reading needs from books, games, movies, and even TV show reviews. If you want to stay up to date,
be sure to check out all of our social medias on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Get all the updates you need from our site.
And with that said, from everyone here at the Prairie Grown Reviews team, see you guys next time.